Okay, here's the Penncrest stereo console from JCPenney. I figured it was built around 1965 based on some old catalogs from JCPenney from 64 and 63 that don't have this particular model, but I'm shown in pictures of it from 1965. So I'm figuring that it was purchased by my parents in 1965. And here's the controls. This is the original control with all the original knobs, mode selection, volume control on off, which they called loudness, bass, treble, balance, and then the tuning knob, which has been replaced with a optical encoder. So if you turn it on, I've got it so where it simulates a tube radio. It doesn't come on right away. It waits, and it will slowly come up in volume, and that simulates a tube receiver. So this is coming on just like the old original receiver did. It waited as the tubes warmed up before the volume came up.
Nature's taken over my one-track mind. They leave it unlocked in my heart all the time.
The hardest part of this project was actually getting the dial pointer to move in frequency with the frequency of the receiver that's inside the unit, the new Denon receiver. So I solved it by using a stepper motor with a linear actuator connected to the dial cord, the original dial cord. So as I move up in frequency, the stepper motor will move the dial cord and the indicator. So right now I'm in FM mode. Let me get a little bit closer here. You can see the original, well, not the original, but the stereo light down here. So this would come on when it received an FM stereo broadcast. And if I go to the FM stereo mode, the light lights up. And if it's strong enough, it will actually receive in stereo. Unfortunately, this light doesn't actually show stereo mode. It actually shows the mode called auto that the Denon receivers have, which is required in order to decode stereo broadcasts. So it's actually an auto mode, not stereo mode. I may in the future change the light so that when it'll go out as it's tuning and then come back on when it gets to a station. But I'll wait on that. Another nice feature that I put in here, that since I have a encoder with a button, is that I can just push the button, the tuning button, and it goes up to the next valid station automatically. If I hold it a little bit longer, it'll go down in frequency.
Otherwise, Republicans could do too well. One of the groups that Republicans do
and it'll actually show the song on the HDMI receiver, which is kind of a cool feature. And then I could tuck that away when I'm not using it or don't want to see it. But it's kind of nice to see the extra information. So it's a really nice be able to use the existing vintage controls but have modern electronics underneath. So the controls on it, to get out of this, you just flip the mode switch and it'll override Bluetooth and go back to FM stereo, which is what I have it on now. The mono function here is going to be actually an Sirius XM receiver that I'm going to add to this. And the final position, which is labeled stereo here, is going to be the phonograph. And it's a Denon turntable that has, it's got a nice automatic mode, and it actually works pretty well. A little bit nicer than the original clunky turntable that was on there. And it's fully automatic, which is nice. Not necessary, but the other one was automatic. And this is one of my parents' original records. Organs on 35mm film. The best in recorded sound. Must be so, it says it.